Hey there friends, it's Steph from Squishy & Co. and today's tutorial is how to crochet the star stitch. Now if you've ever tried out this stitch before, you may have noticed that some methods the fabric kind of leans off to the side or you have these really large gaps at the edge, but I'm going to show you this method that avoids both of those issues. So grab your yarn and a hook and let's get started. I'm working with worsted weight yarn and an H 5mm hook. And to get started with the star stitch, we need to chain a multiple of 2 plus 4 for turning. If you'd like to follow along with this tutorial, I'm going to chain 18. Here is our chain of 18, and just a quick note, I'm actually going to work into the back bumps of the chain, but feel free to work into the side. It's not going to change the actual stitch itself. So for the star stitch, we need to draw up 6 loops on our hook. And we're going to begin in the second chain from the hook. So insert, yarn over, and draw up a loop. There's 2 loops. Into the next chain, yarn over and draw up a loop. Into the next, draw up a loop. There's 4. Into the next for 5. And finally 6 loops on your hook. Now we're going to yarn over and draw through all 6 loops. And a thing that you can do to make sure that this goes really smoothly is make sure that your hook stays pointing down. And you can also grasp the base of the loops here to stretch them out a bit, and your hook should slide right through. Chain 1 to close your stitch. It's a good idea to keep maybe a little bit of a looser tension than you normally would, especially when you're doing this chain 1 here, because we're actually going to work into this little space that we just made multiple times. When I was learning this stitch, the most difficult part for me was this next part, which is learning exactly where you need to place your hook to draw up your following loops. So I'm going to show you first. We're going to go into the eye of the star that we just created. Then we're going to go in between these last 2 legs here. So these are the loops that we just pulled up in our chain. And we're going to go right in between those 2. After that, we're going to go into the base of the chain that we've already worked into. And you can see it's already kind of stretched out for us, so it's nice and easy. And then for the 5th loop, we'll go into the foundation chain as well as the 6th. So let's do that. Insert your hook into the eye of the star and draw up a loop. Next, we're going to go in that space between those last 2 legs. And you want to make sure that you're going under 2 loops. Oops. Draw up a loop. There's 3. Now we're going to go into the base where we've already worked. There's 4. And 5 and 6 will go into the following foundation chains. There's 5 and 6. Yarn over and draw through all 6 loops on your hook. Chain 1 to close. There we go. I'll show you again. Insert your hook into the eye of the star and draw up a loop. There's 2. In between these last 2 legs and making sure that you're going under 2 loops. I'm struggling today. There's 3. 4 goes into the base of that chain. 5 and 6 will go into the following foundation chains. Yarn over and draw up a loop. Chain 1 to close. Into the eye of the star. In between the last 2 legs. Into the base of the chain. And into the next 2 foundation chains. Yarn over, draw through all 6 loops, and chain 1 to close. Alright, I'm going to repeat this all the way across, and I will meet you there to show you how to finish this row so that you avoid those pesky gaps. Here we are at the end, chain 1 to close. And now to work our partial star, we're going to go into the eye of the star, draw up a loop, into the space between the last 2 legs, and right into the base of that chain that we've already worked into. So you'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and draw through all 4 loops. And there is your first row. For row 2, chain 2, and turn your work. This row we are going to work 2 half double crochets into the center of each star. So we're going to work back into the eye of those stars all the way across. And if you're not 100% sure, you're going to look for all these loops coming out of this one little central place, and that is where we're going to work our 2 half double crochets. Alright, I've worked my 2 half double crochets into the eye of each star. And to finish this row off, we're going to work a single crochet into the very edge of the chain. So you can see here, there are like these 2 little legs and a bar on the top that almost looks like a little mushroom. And we're going to go right into that space there and out the top. And I will show you. So right in between those 2 there, and single crochet. So you can see that those 2 rows create a completed star stitch. Now to begin the next row, we need to chain 3 and turn our work. Now just like before, we're going to start working into this chain. We're going to go into the second chain from the hook, draw up a loop, into the third chain from the hook and draw up a loop. And now we'll start working into the tops of these stitches here. So right here into that very first one, draw up a loop, into the second, and into the third. So we have 6 loops on our hook, yarn over and draw through all 6 loops, and chain 1 to close. Again, into the eye of the star, draw up a loop, in between the last 2 legs, draw up a loop, into the base of that half double crochet, there's 4, and then into the next 2, there's 5 and 6. Yarn over and draw through all 6 loops on your hook, chain 1 to close. I am going to complete this row, and I will meet you at the end to show you one more time how to work your partial star stitch. Okay, here we are at the end of the row. I'm going to chain 1 to close that off. Now we're going to insert a hook into the eye of the star, draw up a loop, in between the last 2 legs, and draw up a loop, and then into the base of that stitch. There's 4, yarn over, and draw through all 4 loops on your hook. Chain 2, turn your work, and repeat the half double crochet row. Working 2 half double crochets into the eye of each star. And then we will single crochet into the edge of that chain. I got a little tight there. And there is the end of your 4th row. So keep repeating the previous 2 rows until your piece reaches the desired length. And that is it. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and drop me a comment below. Let me know what you are planning on making with this stitch. As always, please be sure to like and subscribe, and if you'd like to read the blog post, you can find it on my website at squishyandco.com, and I will see you again in 2 weeks.